This morning's guest is not just in an amazing race, he's also an amazing person. You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at HTC's Carolina Forest Branch location. We're focused on the race across India. And we're visiting with a local attorney, Jay Bultz, one of the participants in the race. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Greg.
How exciting to get a chance to get you in. And of course, we had originally thought we'd talk about mediation and arbitration, but David Harwell talked about it last Friday. So
he's got it covered. Yeah.
I think he got it covered. So that gives us an opportunity to get you in to talk about this tremendous race across India.
Yeah, this is exciting. It's I've always enjoyed getting involved in adventures here and there, and my brothers found out about this opportunity, and it's a road race across the continent of India for 13 days, and the main focus is well, it's a charitable fundraising event.
Right.
And the focus is to raise money for rural Indian villages.
Right.
And each team is assigned a village in India, and one of the things we do is to raise money to provide for that village. And of course, there's a lot of needs of these villages, and including medical issues, educational issues, and that sort of thing. So it's an endurance race. It's going to be tough, and I've read about some of the previous teams and their adventures and misadventures, and we're really going to have to be in good shape for this race.
Now, you're not actually going to have to go over there, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to be racing with my two brothers in an auto rickshaw, which is one of those tiny little three-wheel taxi cabs that they have all over India and Southeast Asia. And it's set up like a motorcycle with a shell over it, and the driver's in front, and it carries two passengers in the back, which would be the three of us.
You'll rotate around, sure.
Yeah, and it's a little 250 cc engine, two-cycle engine, single piston, one spark plug, and we have to carry along tools and spare parts, and get ourselves through the continent of India.
That is amazing.
Over 1,000 miles, about 1,200 miles, we'll be racing across.
Over a 13-day period.
Yeah. So we have a lot to do, and each day they assign us a different challenge. And this is, in the media and broadcast different places around the world, but each day we may be assigned to go to some temple in the jungle and try and solve some riddle, or learn something about one of the the Hindu gods or something, and or to go into the jungles and find something, or go into some caves, and we'll be covering a good part of the continent of India, and so we'll be going through the mountains and through valleys and swamps and rural areas. We'll be starting out.
Sounds like it could be dangerous, Jay.
Oh yeah, there's lots of mishaps that have happened in the previous race and could happen in this race as well, and so we have to be in really good shape in order to, it's an endurance race. It's going to be tough.
And there's only 3 participants on each team.
Right, and there's going to be teams from all around the world. There's a number of teams already from the United States.
Right.
There's several teams. Last year, there was only a few teams from the U.S., but again, there will be a number of teams from the UK, and then a lot of teams seem to come from Hungary. There's a large Indian population in Hungary, so a number of teams will be coming from there, and from Africa and Russia and various other places around the world. And so there's 60 to 100 teams, and it's really exciting.
That is amazing, Jay. Now, did you pull your two brothers in, or did one of them pull you in?
Well, the problem with my two brothers is we're always challenging each other, and nobody will back down.
Yeah, sure.
And so when one of my brothers set this out, they said, we need to do this, and we all said, yeah, sure, we'll do it. Well, none of us has backed down yet, and that's the problem. So we're stuck with doing this now.
You're actually going to have to do it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we got to get our shots and take our medications for malaria and cholera and hepatitis and all that stuff. And
have you been to India before, Joe?
No.
Never. How about your brothers?
No, I don't think they have. We've all traveled outside the country, but I don't think India is one of the places. And it's going to be very exciting. But, you know, the things that I've always been involved in have been connected with charity.
Right, sure.
You know, you and I have spoken before on this program about Camp Happy Days.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the children with cancer.
We've been there thanks to you. You opened the door for us to film a whole week there with the kids.
And that was a great event. And so I've always been involved in that sort of thing. And so that's what appeals to me about this.
Right.
Because we can make a huge difference for these villages. In fact, we will keep in touch with these villages and stay in communication with them and you know, try and continue to help them with their needs. Mm-hmm. You know, India is such a dichotomy of wealth and poverty. With the internet technology and the software companies and everything that has developed over there,
right.
is huge. I mean, they're leading the world in so many respects with software and technology, but those are in isolated cities around the country, right. Whereas most of the country is in abject poverty. You know, people who don't even have shoes and you know, scrounge around just to get food. So this race brings a lot of attention to the impoverished parts of the country, and
right.
also brings a lot of help and a lot of, you know, wherewithal to these villages that could really use this.
And y'all will be adopting a village, I think you said earlier.
And the focus will be the children of the village, to give them, you know, the medicines they need, the you know, nutrition that they need, and to the educational materials, so that they can, you know, hopefully better themselves and get out of the villages and go and you know, get a career, get a good education. So this is the focus of the event, even though it's going to be a great adventure, which appeals to a lot of people, like myself and my brothers. But it's going to be a huge event.
Do your brothers live here in Myrtle Beach, Jay?
No, my younger brother Garl, he's an engineer, does security systems, and he goes over to Russia on a regular basis, setting up security systems for nuclear weapon sites over there with the U.S. government. He lives in Aiken, and my youngest brother is Neil, who is with Advanced Automation. He is an engineer with a robotics company.
Really?
And so, you know, we were thinking about team names, and they both went to Clemson, and I went to Carolina, and so they said, well, we'll call our team Two Tigers and a Chicken or something. But we're still working on a team name. We were thinking about Bultz, last name Bultz, Thunderbolts, and then one of them said, well, after several days of eating the Indian food and drink over there, a few days later, we'll have to call ourselves Thunderbutts. But
you know, yes, that's right. Good
we have to be very careful about our health situation over there. But,
yeah, sure.
But you know, we'll be starting out on the east coast of India in Chennai, which used to be known as Madras. In 1995, India changed all the British-named cities over to the original Indian names.
How interesting.
And so we're starting out in Chennai, which most people would know as Madras, and we cross the continent. We go through several mountain ranges and through some valleys.
Right.
And through a number of different cities, stopping along the way, and then we hit the west coast, and then we come up the coast all the way up to Mumbai. And Mumbai used to be known as Bombay.
Is that right?
So we'll finish up in Bombay, and stopping in various villages along the way.
How exciting, Jay. I mean, you know, did you ever imagine when you got the call from your brother about this that A, you would take the challenge, and B, you'd actually take it seriously and determine we're going to raise funds for the kids in this village?
Yeah, I did not realize how big this was and how difficult this is going to be.
So you're going to have to take about a month off from work.
A good 3 weeks, yeah. So I've got to, you know, make sure that my business is covered, that everything is covered financially, and so it's going to be a challenge. But on the financial end of things, you know, there are 3 types of sponsorships that we're hoping to get, and one is to sponsor the team itself. Now, we've already got a pretty good headway with each of our respective companies has chipped in a good amount of money, so we've got about 2/3 of the money that we need for sponsoring the team to get us over there, to get the auto rickshaw, to you know, get everything in place and get that set up.
Right.
The next fundraising effort, which is our biggest fundraising effort that we're concentrating on, is to sponsor the village itself, to adopt the village.
Now, have you determined which village it is yet?
We will be assigned a village.
Okay,
and we're waiting on that to be assigned to us. And what happens is They will tell us who the village chief is, the village elders.
Right.
So we will be in touch with them beforehand in connection with a NGO or non-governmental organization that provides relief in that area. So we will be in communication with them to find out specifically what type of relief that they need, what sort of supplies we need to bring. Now, it's difficult to get that here and ship it over there. And so what will happen is we will do the fundraising here, then take those funds over to India.
Sure.
And then we'll spend several days, going to the places that we need to buy the materials and supplies. We'll carry that with us on the trip. Now, obviously, in this little auto rickshaw, we can't carry all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have there, for the whole rally, there are large trucks that kind of follow the whole race along the route. And so our materials will be kept there. And then once we get to our particular village, we will meet with the chief and the NGO representatives, and then we will present the materials there.
How exciting, Jay. This is amazing. And we're getting close now. It's amazing. As you talked about the date, August 5th, and we're 10 weeks away now, being May 15th.
August 5th through August 17th is the race, including the beginning and end day. And then we have to be there several days ahead of time to get things prepared, and then a few days afterwards to kind of take care of things in the end.
Well, we want to talk more about that, but if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best phone number, and is there a website? What's the best phone number for someone to call to learn more about either sponsoring the team, the village, or even, I think you're going to talk a little bit about sponsoring the rally itself. What's the best phone number?
The best phone number is at my office, Bultz Law Offices, and that's 626-2006.
That's a good number, 626-2006.
Yeah. And I'm working on setting up a personal website that will feature this particular event.
Good.
And that's going to be jboltz.com.
And Bultz is B-O-L-T-S?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
B-U-L-T-Z.
Oh, there we go.
Like
Good.
Schultz with a B.
I love it. I just want to make sure to get it right for viewers who are hearing that. We want to get it right. B-U-L-T-Z. So J-Boltz, J-A-Y-B-U-L-T-Z.com will be up sometime in the next few weeks or in the next month or so. That's great.
Right. And it'll have links to the website for this particular rally, which is, if people want to look at it now, it's IndianARC.com. That's Indian Auto Rickshaw Challenge.com. IndianARC.com.
You spell rickshaw. Yeah, have you ever been in a rickshaw, Jay?
No, and this is going to be quite an event. I hope I can fit into one of these things.
Yeah, you're a big guy, Jay. Viewers can't quite take you in. You're a big dude, yeah.
But at any rate, we have to bring our own tools and our own spare parts because I understand these things break down left and right, so we're going to have to learn how to work on small engines and axles and transmissions and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of challenges all the way around. And, we're going to have to bring along ropes and stuff if we get run off the side of a cliff and down into
oh, my Lord, Jay,
some ravine or something, or break down or get washed out in some flood or something.
Your Boy Scout background's going to kick in. I love it.
We'll have to take our pocket knife and a bunch of other stuff.
That's right. Real quick, for viewers who may not have met you here in the area locally, are you from the area, Jay?
Yeah, I'm an original native of Myrtle Beach, although I was not born in Myrtle Beach. Back then they didn't have a hospital in Myrtle Beach. But my parents brought me to Myrtle Beach when I was just a babe. And
from Conway?
Actually, I was born in Berkeley, California. My parents were going to college there, and they were graduating college. And then I was born at that time, and then they came to the East Coast. My father looked around for a place to settle and picked Myrtle Beach.
That's amazing.